Twizy's got some new windows. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Fresh back from the holidays now, rearing to go. Got so much stuff going on. It's been super busy on the old emails and all that sort of stuff. So if you've been waiting for replies, then just bear with us because it's been super busy. Also processing all the orders and getting everything sorted out from the Christmas period. It was quite a manic time. So good news is though, we've got the Vapours back in stock now. So the Vapour frames, the batteries, the motors. It's still better at the moment to order all the parts to build up your own bike if you want to do the Vapour build. Go and check out the other video. There's loads of information, you know, going back about that and how to build it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we're still working on getting distributors for the full bikes because there's a bit of a problem in importing full bikes into certain countries. But meanwhile, if you still can't wait to get one of these bikes, then the best way is to build one up, and then you can basically just put on what you want, all the components and stuff, because the main parts are the battery, the motor and the frame. Everything else is pretty much standard bike stuff. So that's the way to do it, guys. Anyway, today's video is going to be about the Twizy again, because it's been getting loads of love. Loads of you have been asking, you know, about the different accessories and stuff like that. So what I'm going to try and do today is cover some of the Twizy accessories, because we've got a new set of windows that's just arrived, which we are going to be stocking in the store as well. So I mean, one of the biggest problems with the Twizy is that it comes, in the UK at least, it comes with these rubbish flappy windows which don't even cover the whole area of the opening, because it never really was intended to have windows, so it wasn't really intended to have doors either. Well, the doors are an option actually, and you have to specify that when you order the car right at the beginning, otherwise you can't kind of fit them after. So yeah, we got these windows, and let me tell you, they look so good. Like, they are actually the ones they use in Korea for the Renault Twizy in Korea, because it's quite popular in Korea, believe it or not, this the Twizy. They manufacture these windows, and a lot of the parts are made there. I'm not sure about the car itself, if the car's made there, I don't know. But basically there's a lot of parts available over there, so what I'm going to try and do is make them available to the UK and beyond via the store. Anyway, let's go check the windows out. So we've got one window here. They came packaged really nicely. There's no way they're going to break in the packaging they've been sent in, so that is really, really good. As per usual, I couldn't wait for the video, so I've stuck one side on already because I really wanted to see what it looked like. And let's just say I'm so impressed. These are so much better than the others. Actually, it's going to be quite good because I can show you the Twizy windows, which is the other alternative aftermarket window. I can show you the comparison between the two, because it is like night and day, to be honest, and they are very similar in pricing as well. So the first thing you notice about these windows is the quality of them. They just feel OEM, you know, and we like OEM stuff because we want it to kind of look as factory as possible, even though mine does look a little bit modified. But you know, the quality is really, really nice. They're slightly smoked as well, so it kind of gives you a bit of a kind of, you know, modified look, and the actual sliding mechanism is really tight as well. There's no way that's going to rattle. But one of the main things about these windows is they actually seal from the outside. So if you look at the Twizy ones on the other side, they go into the actual kind of area here. These are really dirty. It's not really fair to show how bad these look because they have been through quite a lot. But if you look at this on here, you can see that it's just basically seals around the edge, and these have got a much better seal at the front. So you can see this area here. I don't think you can see it clearly in the camera, but there's basically no gap there. There's a tiny little gap at the top, but I mean, you can't really get around that because you know, that actually indents in there. But there's hardly any gap there. Whereas if you look on the other side, big gap. And the sliding mechanism is nice and tight. They've put kind of protective thing there to stop it actually kind of scraping on the, you know, I'm not sure how scratch resistant all this is going to be going backwards and forwards loads of time, especially if you get some grip behind it, but I'm not really sure if there's any way you can prevent that on there anyway. So yeah, how you get in, just open that, pull the little lever there, probably pull that out. It might be better to do it from the top or use two hands, and then that just opens up like that. And then to close it, you just got to basically push that out and make sure it doesn't smack on the side of the car when it goes in. There's not really any way to avoid that with these windows because it's just how the thing's designed. But immediately you notice how more kind of closed in you are and how more sealed it actually is. You know, because this is all sealed now. There's obviously that little gap there where it's going to come through, but I think you are going to need a bit of airflow because otherwise everything will probably steam up. Now that could actually really be it, but they have actually put these kind of little Velcro straps so you can actually, you know, stop this from moving, because you can see here, if you look at the other window on the other side, the Twizy ones, and that flaps about, that will flap about. If you're driving along, it can get a little bit annoying. So I like how they've done this because it is actually going to stop this from moving. There's actually two straps so you can do that, and they give you, well, I'll show you when I install it, but they give you like an adhesive activator to basically clean and prime the surface so you can stick this Velcro strap on. I don't think that Velcro pad is actually ever going to come off, to be honest. So there you go, they look miles better than any of the other ones I've had anyway, so that is a massive improvement. So we need to stick the other side on now. So the other side I've got this kind of window set up, which is still pretty good. You can get in there and, you know, do everything else. You probably can't quite fit a coffee through there if you're going through like a you know, a drive-through coffee or fast food place or something. But that size window obviously will be a lot better for that sort of thing, if that's what you want to do. These ones are lockable, and I have actually forgotten the key, so I just usually just pull that out. So that just shows you how not much point there is in having a lock, really. But what I always liked about these windows is they're easy to take off, because they give you these little kind of thumb screws, and you can just unscrew them with your hands. Normally you get the torque bolts, which are actually part of the car that holds this kind of plastic bit on, the trim on, and that's what you're supposed to use. You're supposed to remove them and then, you know, basically just put them in there. But what I've done is just taken the Twizy thumb screws and just put them on here, because then I can just take these windows off in the summer when I want to. To be honest though, because of the size of this window, you might not even need to bother taking them off if they don't rattle. The main reason I'd take these ones off is because they just rattle, and it's just miles better in the summer just having that kind of open space. And the car is actually really solid. It doesn't rattle at all without the windows on. So going to get these off. They come off pretty easily. Just come off like that, straight forward. Now under here you can see all this crappy mess under here, which has just kind of crept underneath the window. I'm not sure if these ones are going to do the same, because there is a little kind of bit of insulation there, and they do go a lot closer. No, you can see actually there's like a little rubber kind of insulation thing, so that should actually seal that. So I'm just going to give this a little spruce up. I'm really swearing by this stuff at the moment, Auto Glim Show Shine, and you just basically spray it on, it's like spray kind of polish, but it really kind of brings it up nice. The whole car needs a clean, you know, really. But what we'll do is we stick the windows on and then give it a jet spray. Right, so the way these windows go on, I'll try and put this camera in the best place possible so you can actually see what's going on, is that you just kind of offer them up to the side of the window or side of the door like this, and then you line up the holes. And I mean, these just fit so nicely. It's very perfectly moulded to the window, or to the door, should I say. And then you can just get one of your little thumb screws. Probably better to do one of the middle ones, and then you can sort of get it in. Now this is the trickiest bit, because you've got to kind of get these in the right place, and doing it at this angle is probably not the easiest one, but I'm trying to do it for the sake of the camera. But you can basically just screw that in there. That's the idea, and hopefully it just gets the thread on the inside. That's it. So that's one in. Obviously if you're not using the thumb screws, you've got to use the existing trim screws, which you just remove with, I think, a Torx thing. It says it comes with a little instruction manual with this, so it tells you what you need to do it. But I think these are going to work a bit better, because it'll allow me to take them off if I need to. And that's pretty much it. That one's still a little bit loose. But yeah, I mean, it's secure as it's ever going to be. So we'll test shut this one. Hold on to that bit of insulation that I put on there to keep the drafts out, and it still sticks out. Try and tuck that in. I don't open this door much, this one anyway. I use the other one. There you go. Look at that. Right, so here's the instructions I was talking about. They're in Korean, which is helpful. But really, if you need instructions, you probably shouldn't be doing this anyway. Now that is the little wipe, which basically is like a little activator pad. So all you've really got to do here is take off this bit of Velcro sticky pad, and just basically just stick it up there. And then you can use this to basically just, you know, pull that window tight. And then the same down there. But to make it stick better, they give you this activator pad, which I think is pretty cool. I've not seen that before. So just get this out. This is horrible stuff, actually. It gets in your skin, it makes it... Oh no, sprayed it up the bloody window. That's something to watch out for, guys. You need to... It will come off, but that's something to watch out for. So we'll just apply it to that little area. Get that pad similar sort of place to the other side. Get that stuck on. That ain't coming off. And you can just strap that to there. Brilliant. And you just got to do this one. Just give that a little squeeze. So right there, being careful not to touch the window, that sticky stuff on your hands, that is pretty solid. Like, that's not going anywhere. And if we shut the other side, welcome to the new cabin. Pretty smart. Road test. more rattly windows anyway. That is so cool. Also, there's minimal air coming through. It's not a particularly cold day today, but there's nothing coming through there at all. Right, well, I'm pretty impressed. They not only look good, but they also perform really well as well. It's like driving the car that hasn't got any windows in. It's kind of weird because there's just no rattling noise. I think it's this extra bit that stops this rattling. I think that is the key. And it feels pretty warm in here as well. I haven't even got a coat on. Right, it's on a rougher road, getting a tiny bit of vibration. It's hardly anything. This is a pretty rough old road as well. Right, 60 mile an hour test then. That's pretty impressive. They're not flapping about at all. Feels like a different car. Impressive. Hose test. Probably not fair to spray it directly on the actual window. Try and imitate rain the best way possible. Yeah, there is water in it. But it's probably no worse than the other windows, to be honest. The thing is with this car, even when it hasn't got windows, you don't get wet. It's because of the design of it. It's pretty clever. Right, so the other thing I was going to show you was this new heat pad, which I just grabbed off of Amazon. It had no reviews on Amazon, and I just thought I'm going to take a punt at it because it actually looked quite good, because you've got like a, I know it's more to go wrong, but it's actually got like a control panel. Forgot the car's actually plugged in, so it's still charging. So you turn it on, you just press that, and that's basically your temperature setting. And it seems to heat up pretty well, guys. It's got this kind of nice, don't know, this finish. The problem with a lot of these is when you sit on them, they just all crease up and they look really nasty. The old one I've got, which is actually in the back, it's not for someone sitting in the back, it's just because I just chucked it there. I don't know, I just felt like it was dying on me, so I thought I'd just get another one. It's also got a timer feature on there, which I probably won't even use, but generally it looks pretty good. The cable and everything, all the quality of the cables are a lot better than the other ones I've seen anyway, so that was quite a good punt, I reckon. Oh, it gets nice and toasty as well. Right, there's a bit of noise going on in the background because they're building over on this part of this field that was next to us that has been empty for ages. So there's going to be a bit of background noise in the video. Apologies, nothing I can do about that. Anyway, let's try and clear some space on here. So you might remember I actually put a little fan heater inside the Twizy, and this is the fan heater. This was basically pointing towards your feet, because in the Twizy you get a lot. There's a lot of cold air that kind of blows in the footwell area, and you can insulate it, and I'll show you how I've done that as well. That racket stops, that's good. Yeah, so you get a lot of cold air coming through, and the idea with this is it's quite a low power heater. This just went in the footwell and blew hot air down. This is like 200 watts, I think, something like that, so not a huge amount. And it will run off of the actual car's internal 12 volt battery. In fact, it doesn't run off the 12 volt battery when the car's running, because the DC to DC converter inside the car, the thing that actually charges the main battery, has a 12 volt output for charging the 12 volt battery. And actually you can tap into that power and run, 12 volt accessories like this, which otherwise wouldn't work, because, unless you're in a normal car and you've got an alternator that's charging the battery. So that's kind of a similar kind of principle. But anyway, long story short, I had this thing in here as well, which is basically like a remote control unit, and it had a little display, which I don't know what I've done with now. Oh, it's there. That thing had a little display, so you could basically remotely turn on and off the heater. So it's a bit of a kind of long way round doing something, really. But because this thing's got a nice display and it shows volts, amps, everything else, I had this wired up so that I could actually test the heater out and see how much power it was drawing, and when the car actually allowed it to be running, and basically make sure that I didn't flatten the main 12 volt battery, and run some tests. Now I'm happy, I can disconnect that, so that's what I've done. I've kind of taken that off, taken that out, and I can make it a lot simpler and just basically just have this fan. And the idea is I'll use one of these switches, which I've got one out already, and I'll have this in the dashboard. I can basically just turn on and off that heater, so it's more user friendly basically. Gosh, it's warm in here. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. I'm going to wire this up. I've already run some battery cables, some big fat battery cables from the 12 volt battery in the Twizy across to under the dashboard, and then I've got the other end of this connector. So it's easy, it's an easy job. So all I've got to do is just basically connect this to that via a switch. What could possibly go wrong? So here's the wiring diagram. You've got 3 terminals. You've got one for positive, one for sort of joint ground, and then you've got basically another one which feeds the LED. So the LED will come on when the switch is turned on. So that's pretty straightforward. These were another Amazon special. You know, you get 8 for like £5 or something stupid like that. So they look fairly decent quality. I'll have to drill a hole in the dash. So because I've got to drill a hole in the dash, I'm actually not going to be able to wire this onto this, obviously. So what I'm going to do is do it the proper bodge job, auto electrician way, and use these kind of little spade connectors and just, you know, put them on. And I'll solder these things on because they'll be better for the vibration. In some cases, vibration, it might be better if it did have a bit of movement, but I think in this case it would be better if they're soldered. There's not much tension on these wires. If you've got big thick ones, big thick wires, then I wouldn't solder, because you probably, the vibration over time might just crack the solder joint. But if it's smaller gauge wire, I mean, this wire needs to be big enough to handle the 15 amps, so I'm sure it's fine for that. So there you go, got 3 wires on there. Just cut them off like that, and that's that. So these will go on the bottom of the switch, and I'm going to have to remember which one goes to which. Right, so we've got part of it done. I've connected the negative to the negative of the fan, and then I've got the negative one. Really, you don't really need as thick a wire as this if it's just powering the LED, but I'll just use all the same gauge. So that effectively is the black. There you can see, goes off to the fan, and then the other one goes off to the connector, it goes onto the switch. So all I've got to do now is connect these 2 spades to those 2 reds, and that's it. One side done, and I can shrink that up as well. Trusty heat gun, and it's up a bit higher. Smell that burning. And then the other sides. Last one. Make sure these joints are good because they're carrying a few amps. Right, so done. Now I'm just going to finish up by I'm just going to put a tie wrap around those cables to make them a little bit more, so they stay together a bit easier in there. Tie wrap those together, and that is it. So there it is. Fan. The fan is connected to the same place as the heater, so when it turns on, the fan turns on as well. And then you've got this connector, obviously, fuse, so 30 amp fuse in there, so that won't blow. And then we got 3 connectors which can basically just be connected to the switch once the switch has been put in the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the car and just try it, see if it all works okay and nothing melts, and then we can work out where we're going to put this switch in the car. Here we go then, put the key in the ignition. So I need to plug these into the switch. I will actually put some heat shrink over those just to make sure. So all I need to do now is just plug that into that and wait for the sparks. Bang! Lights on, fans on, warm air's coming out. If I turn the ignition on, I need to turn the ignition on so it gets a little bit more power. Just check all this. I don't know if that's warm just from the soldering that I was just doing. But yeah, that's working, no problem. Might be able to hear it working. It's blowing a nice amount of warm air out of there though. And it actually goes off when I turn it off, which is good. Right, I've done the hole then. I've decided to put it down there rather than up here. It's going to interfere with anything up there. And it's quite close for the wires and everything else. So yeah, that's quite a good place. You could actually have multiple switches down there for different things if you really wanted to. I've got a good little place down there. So let's stick it in. Obviously I've unplugged these wires from the main power. Got my heat shrink. Oh no, it's not going to go over there. Oh, I need bigger heat shrink. Nope, I run out, so it's going to have to be the classic insulation tape job. It's mainly just to stop that red and that black accidentally touching. There we go. Put it in there, and hopefully it fits nicely. Bit of a fiddle. Hey! Well, I'm nearly there. I'm just having trouble attaching this fan to the back to where it was, because this adhesive stuff has now kind of got a bit old and brittle, and I haven't got any more left, so I'm having to improvise. So what I thought was, you remember the thing I used to do the window? I just found the packet of that. Hopefully this will activate the adhesive on the back of this, and then I can use Velcro. What do you reckon? Well, maybe it might activate the adhesive on that was already on there. Oh wow, it has actually stuck that. Well, I'm gonna have to get some more of this stuff. This stuff's amazing. Automotive adhesion promoter 06396. 3M stuff is just the one, isn't it? So there you go, that's stuck. Turn it on. We have heat. Right, so a little test then. So you can see main battery is at 57 volts. So if we go back out of that, what we'll do is we'll start turning things on and see how much power we're actually taking out using all this different stuff. So get back to the main menu. Right, back to the main menu. So it's saying 1 amp. So this is just the systems for the car, minus 1 amp. So that's basically 57 watts is being consumed by the car without anything on. So let's turn the heater on. Heater's on, and it goes up to 4. So that's 4 amps. So 4 times 57, we're taking 228 minus our 57. So, you know, we're 171 watts or whatever going out of that heater. What else can we turn on? So if we turn on the heated seat pad as well, so it goes up, only goes up another amp. So 5 amps. So 5 times 57 is 285. What else can we turn on? So we can turn on the heated screen as well. That goes up a couple more amps. So that's 7. So 7 times 57 volts. So we're up to about 400 watts now. I think you can see what the 12 volt battery voltage is on here. Battery info. Probably on the next page. 12 volt current, 7 amps going out. Where is it? 12 volt battery, 14.437. So all of this, the heating, the heated screen, the seat pad, everything, we can also turn the lights on as well, is all actually being powered from, so you can see the voltage dropping a little bit there. That's all pretty much being powered from the DC to DC converter in the car. I'm not sure how far we can actually push this DC to DC converter, but we're now at 8 amps. So if we do 8 times 57, it's 450 watts. It's quite a lot of power, but it seems to be doing it. My feet are nice and warm anyway, so I think we're definitely pulling power out of the 12 volt battery at that. Anyway, this is all kind of just messing around and seeing, but it's working, I think. We've even got a bit of condensation in as well, which is interesting. These windows must really seal it in. Right, it's the next day now. That was a bit of a mission to edit. There was so much in there. I tried to get it down as short as possible, so hopefully you've enjoyed it and it's useful information on there. Good stuff about the windows, really impressed with those, and glad I've got the heating sorted out as well now, because I just wanted to kind of remove this annoying thing, you know, so I can just turn the heating on like a normal car, just flick a switch and it works. So I hope you enjoyed the little auto electrician bit in there as well. Don't forget, subscribe, like, do the usual stuff. Follow me on Instagram as well. I'm doing more stuff over there now. As I keep saying, I'm trying to get the numbers up so I can give you information about stuff that I'm doing and you can follow along and all that. So until the next video, guys, I'll catch you later.